Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Meet the Board. My name is Jacob Jennings, and I am the founder of the Sherlock Holmes Foundation, a 501c3 dedicated to ending homelessness for vulnerable populations, especially the LGBTQ population. And here with me today is my extra special guest, Miss Lauren Lapointe, one of our board member extraordinaires. Hello, darling. How are you?
What a title. Oh my goodness. I don't know how I can compete with that title. That was amazing.
We need to actually put it like all in your name tag, like right there. Lauren Lapointe, extra special guest star. Yeah.
I don't know if
Might be
it's
a lot.
going to fit on this Zoom call here, but we can try.
Just put it down. Your tatas will keep it going. So
great.
We're gonna
Oh,
edit
that's
that part out
right. The LGBTQ loves tatas.
Yeah, who doesn't? No one's that gay.
Right.
I mean, let's be honest, they're like nature's like portable pillows. Everyone needs a good place to sleep sometimes, you know? When you're a kid, you give grandma a hug, you fall asleep. Oh, so much more comfortable. Just me? No one else? No?
There's no applause in the room. Cue applause.
There's no one else in the room. So, oh God, when people see this, there'll be something interesting. Okay, so we're trying to get you guys to know who our board members are and why they're so important. Lauren has been one of the most influential advocates I could have ever asked for. I am so indebted to her. Lauren, you come from a philanthropic family, right?
I do.
So you were trained in on the importance of a board and what your role would be from a young age.
I wouldn't really say trained. I would say probably bred into the position of a board.
Bred into the position of a board. I really want toast right now. So you were bred into the position of the board. And so what are some of the tips you would give people they want to get on the board of a nonprofit? Like, what are some of the things that you learned from an insider?
Well, in the beginning, if you're not from a philanthropic family, if you don't have that connection or the funnel to get yourself in there, I would start as volunteering in your favorite organization. Offer them yourself and what you are valuable for, and let those people in that foundation, the board members, the staff of that organization, know that you are committed for that mission and that drive that organization has. Once you're in there and you're getting your feet wet, as long as you stay committed, you will be asked to be part of that board because you show your dedication, your heart, and that's what the board is about. It's about showing your heart and being able to produce. It's great to have connections, but they will also take board members in, depending on which board, who has the passion and the drive for it.
You definitely have a passion for what you do. How many boards do you sit on? I just want to know. You probably the only one that matters, by the way, is Sherlock Holmes Foundation, just so we know. But we also have a ballet, which we're a fan of, and symphony and stuff like that.
Yeah, well, I left a bunch of those boards. I was sitting on them. So a total of 5 boards I were on at one time. And now since I've moved to Las Vegas, I've kind of shrunk my boards down because I can't be there physically in person. So I sit on my grandmother's board. I don't sit on my grandfather's board because I'm more about performing arts. It's more gay, fun.
Fabulous.
And then Jacob brought me into his board. So currently I officially sit on 2 boards, which I can focus with each board. One is, of course, my family's. But then I did sit on many other boards and passion. And, you never know what board's going to come up or what board you want to do. The thing is, if you get stretched too far in your time and commitment, you're doing too much. You need to focus down and practice on be on one board until you're able to handle that board, unless the mission is able to umbrella with another board. That way you can produce on both. You just don't want your board members to think that you care about one more than the other. And that's the big thing. If you sit on multiple boards, you have to have that focus onto both boards and be able to provide content for both of them.
What's your favorite fundraiser you've ever thrown?
Favorite fundraiser that I ever thrown?
You know I was going to ask that, did you?
That got me for a shock. I wasn't ready for that one. Let me go back. I actually, I would say my favorite fundraiser is one that wasn't really a fundraiser where I would profit. I started a small little informal non-for-profit that was called Martini 20 with a good friend of mine, Drew. And this is years ago. And it wasn't really like I said, it wasn't a non-for-profit. It just was our way to give back. So we created this thing called Martini 20. And his professor said a true gentleman never has a cocktail unless it's 20 past the hour. And I said, well, what hour? So it didn't matter when we had this fundraiser, but the only thing that really mattered is what time we started. So depending on the time and the day, we sometimes did brunch fundraisers. We sometimes did afternoon cocktails, depending on the day and the organization. So this organization that we put together would throw many different fundraisers for many different organizations to help them out and raise, awareness to that. For example, we did one for the Leukemia Lymphoma Society in Kansas City in honor of our good friends Emily Baldwin, who had family that was suffering from this horrible disease. So what we did is we found a speakeasy. We actually talked to the owner of the speakeasy and said, if we come in, would you offer us one cocktail for free? And he said, no problem. So when they entered the door, they would write a check directly to the leukemia fundraiser. And all those proceeds go 100% to that organization. And it also, because it was done by a check, they were able to get the tax benefits once they got the check back to the office. But for that, they got a cocktail, they got to mingle with some fabulous people whose heart was in the right position. They wanted to give back too. And yes, it was the local Kansas City group of, we have tons of gays on that platform because Drew was gay. And then we had the people who loved art because I was on the art platform. So I was able to blend those two out, stereotypes, the art lover and the gay lover, and blend those two stereotypes together for one good organization. And Jacob talks all the time about stereotypes and all that in his statements and missions. And so that was my favorite, is the fact that it wasn't really a fundraiser, but it was. It was a fundraiser for the organization, not for me. There was no benefit other than watching these two stereotypes combine together to do good in the world. And for anybody that walked in that door was going to do good in the world because they were there for one mission. The mission is to give back.
I love that. But by the way, so if it's at, what happens if you want to have a cocktail at 4:20? Just asking.
Well, then you have a cocktail with, it's 20 past the hour. You're fine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
If you don't have a 20, you just have to do the timing right. Everything's about the right timing. Exactly. If you show up too early for the party, they're not wanting you. If you show up too late, they still don't want you. But if you show up at 4:20, they do want you to join the party.
That's when we can really get the party started. Oh my, yeah. Oh, I had to be professional again. 1 second. And we're back. Okay, so this is Meet the Board. So baby board member is supposed to humanize us. So I actually have your baby picture pulled up. You ready?
Oh my gosh, who sent you my picture?
I love Facebook.
I'm wondering which picture you got.
Hello, darling.
Oh my
Look how
goodness.
cute you are. Look at those legs. You're so tiny.
Yeah, compared to now.
Well, I was talking short, but that's funny. So how old are you in this picture? Look at your hat. I love it.
I was
bonnet.
I was 3 years old. It was Easter. It was at my grandmother's house. And my father took this picture, which is one of the only pictures I remember him. My father left very early in my life and then came back. And you notice I have my little evening clutch there, and I'm all ready for my afternoon luncheon with my grandmother.
Oh my Lord.
And this really dictates my family. Like, I never was allowed to wear jeans to her house. I always had to be in a party dress or a skirt or even slacks. But as a young child, we weren't allowed to wear slacks unless we were playing in the backyard. So this really dictates the way my life ended up being as a child growing up. I never wore jeans until, gosh, I would say like 3 weeks after my grandmother's death. And then I was able to go over to her house and because of my mom's house, and I'm always in jeans, but, and I was 21. So it's a little different, but yeah, my hair's still the same. Look at that.
Look at that. Yeah, that's what you should do one of those. You remember those pictures where you recreate an old picture of yourself or blah, 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 that whole fad that was there? We should totally do that. You get the bonnet. That'd be fun. We should do that.
That'd be hilarious. Oh, that would be fun for the board.
Oh yeah, that'd be a lot of fun. Okay, so I also like to have something that you're proud of. So I'm gonna like see this one. I love this photo of you because you are a world champion ballroom dancer. That's how we met, by the way, because people don't know. I do have a past life, aka I do have a past. And uh, yeah, we had a lot of fun with this one. This is you winning your. Actually, why don't you tell us? Oh, that's the wrong one. Where to go? Boom. Tell us about this photo.
So this photo is a lot of, thanks for zooming right into my titties.
Me too. Told you. No one's that gay. All right. I can't. Apparently, I'm just gonna. It's a day. We're gonna. I'm just having all sorts of issues. There you are. Look at
and
that.
you zoom right into him. Okay. So this photo actually is very interesting because, as Jacob said, in many things, there's a lot of stereotypes that we have to conquer. And I get it. I understand with the LGBTQ, all the stereotypes that you have to fight through. Well, I had one big stereotype that was fighting with me as I was competing through the whole time. The guy on the left side of the picture here, the short, the midget, I love him dearly. That's my actual coach. Jake's laughing because he knows Louis very well.
Oh, he's a sweetheart, and he has the best French accent. You'll love he's very charming. You guys would love him.
It's a real French accent, but it's a little extravagant. It's amazing. But Louis is my original teacher, right? No. You can't tell by how hundred of badges and patches he sewed on into his jacket.
Mm-hmm.
But Louis, we danced in, I think at this time we were up to maybe 70 competitions in our lifetime together. And we were top student, top teacher in a lot of these competitions, but it wasn't the world championship yet. This picture is from. So we competed in all these championships, but one thing that was driving the judges crazy or something that was standing is the stereotype. Normally when a man dances with a woman, the man is usually taller. The woman's usually smaller, shorter, and tinier in a frame. As you can see, I'm completely opposite of that with Louis. So Louis decided to find me another partner to dance with, and here is Sean Burnell. Sean Burnell is taller than I am, around the same weight. Maybe I'm a little bit bigger, but whatever. But we look equal proportionate. We look what a average couple would be on the dance floor. Mm-hmm. So when we did our world championship, Louis decided to pass me off. And I wanted to win a world championship. That was my ultimate goal. Did it have to be with my coach? Not at this moment. So I practiced and trained with not only Louis, but with Sean to be able to win this world championship. And here we are, we did. But there was one thing that was holding me back, is the fact that I didn't win it with my original coach. So we went back 2 years later and won it a second time. But I only showed the first time because that's the proudest moment. It was my first achievement. But going back and winning it with my little Louis was another proud moment because we broke those stereotypes and said it wasn't about the height. It's not about the gender, because now we have male, male, female, female championships. It's not about any of that. It's the stereotypes are being broken. And I've been fighting those stereotypes for over 10 years in ballroom dance. So that's my proudest moment, is making that. Jacob?
Sorry about that. I have a dog. If that didn't surprise you, that just gave me a heart. She never barks. Dear God. Okay, so we're going to continue. Hold on. We're going to stop the share. Okay, so I love that picture of you. I love the rhinestones. And by the way, I'd always loved you as a brunette, which is funny because I haven't seen you as I didn't see you as a brunette until COVID hit and everything started to grow out. And you during COVID, you had like the best crown. Like you had like the right amount. We were close. And you had like the right amount of, do you remember that? We talked about all the time. Like it looked good on you when it was coming out. Yeah.
Thanks. I'm going to talk about your COVID look.
Don't you dare. Don't. So in honor of your grandparents.
So this is not fair, Jacob. I sit there and want to talk about your COVID look and you go and mute the recording?
Well, I mean, I do have the power. It's one of the benefits of being.
That's right. That's what president of the board does.
It's
okay.
Just, yeah.
We're going to ride that ego.
So hold on. Let's be very, very clear for this. When we were in a room the other day, we were in a Zoom call and she changed her profile picture to me looking, you're going to do it. You're preparing, aren't you? Don't you do it. So I'm trying to be sweet right now. So now you say so much about your grandparents. I wanted to show everybody, look at this. Aren't they so cute? I saw that. You're good. I'm trying to be nice here. Look at your grandfather looks so dashing. I love that jacket.
He was always dashing.
Yeah. So you were clearly your grandmother's favorite. You look just like her. You have the
But
smile.
younger.
So how
Okay.
long were they together?
They got married in 67 and they were together all the way until their death. So they were both madly in love. A very interesting story about how they met. My grandmother was born in Toronto and she was recovering from foot surgery. So she flew down to Florida with her mother, Irene McBrien, and they were lying by the pool. And this old man, or at least was old enough, basically dove off the high dive at this resort and swam right over to my grandparents. And I don't think, Jacob, you know this story.
I don't know the story.
Right? So he swam over to my grandparents and he popped out like the hot man he was, putting his hands on the edge of the pool, and jumps out and walks over to my grandmother and my great grandmother and says, "I'm Ewing Kaufman from Kansas City, and I'd love to buy you ladies a drink." Well, there's my grandmother, so snooty. No, thank you. But my great grandmother said, "I'm Irene McBrien and I'm from Toronto, Ontario, Canada, and I would love a drink." And off she went to the bar. Comes to find out that my great grandmother asked Mr. Kaufman to join my grandmother on one of her dates in Canada. So she double dated. And on this date, I guess Mr. K won her heart. And he said, "I will love you. Some young men will love you when you're young and pretty, but I will love you when you're old and crummy." And that won her heart. And she moved back to Kansas City, or moved to Kansas City, and they started their fabulous life together. That's the story of my grandparents.
Sweet. Oh, that is so sweet. I love that. Well, you can tell that
So
they were
now I
happy
just
with
told
this
everybody
picture.
my great grandmother had a drinking problem. So that's fantastic.
But she was also a hell of a matchmaker. You said both things. So we can let both of them go.
She is a hell of a matchmaker. So
yeah, it worked out. I mean, clearly. Where was this picture taken? Do you know where?
I
The
do.
stadium somewhere.
It is. It's the Kaufman. It was the Royal Stadium back in the day. My grandfather actually owned the Kansas City Royals. He was told by his doctor that he needed a hobby. And my grandmother said, "Let's buy a baseball team." And so they were approved of this fabulous hobby, which he had to the day he died. And they won many pennants and many the 1985 World Series that everyone remembers, especially if you're Kansas Cityan. And this was down right when basically in the beginning. I think this was 68 or 69. I wasn't even born yet, maybe, in this picture. And this is them sitting in the crowd. They were so personable, so into the fans. You could come up, shake his hand. And everybody who knew him in Kansas City was always like, "Let me tell you what your grandfather did for me. Let me tell you the story about your grandfather." I never heard a single negative thing about either one of them. Either one of them. And I go around and I ask people, "What was the last image that you saw of Ewing, or what is Mr. Kaufman in your mind?" And they all said it's the moment when he waved out of the limo. He got out of the limo in the middle of the Royal Stadium on the field, and he waved to everybody. And everyone said that was the image he remembers, because every single baseball game at the 7th inning stretch, which is the middle of the 7th inning, he would stand out of his suite and people would wave at him and he would wave back with his wife. I remember as a child, I would wave down at everybody thinking I was someone special. But I was just learning from the legends, learning from my mentors, learning from my grandparents on how to be personable and to care and to give heart, because that's what they did. Each and every wave was a way for them to say thank you for all the city's donation back to them.
Well, you definitely have their heart. And we are so grateful to have you sitting on our board and sharing your heart with us, your mission, your expertise. It's been so much fun. You're sassy as hell, and you're just a blast to work with. So thank you for being such a great part of what we're doing. And I'm so glad I got to spend time with you today. So thank you again.
It was so nice. And you know what, everybody, the mission that Jacob has created for these children, you know, it's not about how much money you give, it's about how much heart you give. And Sherlock Holmes is about that. It's about the heart to help those kids who get kicked out for coming out. And he gives his heart, he gives his home. And that's what it is. When you give heart and you give home, you give love, and you can go far with that. So with that being said, I'm going to wipe the tear from my eye because I love this mission. I love you, Jacob. And it's so good to work with you guys. So God bless.
God bless, honey, and bless you. If you're watching, please go ahead and reach out to Lauren. Where can they find you, Lauren, if they want to reach out to you?
Oh my goodness. Well, I'll give my direct email, which is lauren@sherlockholmes.org.
There you go. And you can also find her at lauren10k.com if you want to have a good time. That's a joke for us. But Lauren at sherlockholmes.org. And please follow us, like us, share our mission. Let's get our story out there. Let's make a difference in this world. Because remember, you got to be little nuts to change this nutty world. So let's do it together. Thank you guys so much. We will see you later. And goodbye. I'm Jacob and I'm fabulous.
You want to see that picture?
And we are done.
Jacob.
Hello, everyone. I am Jacob Jennings, and welcome to Sherlock's. Nope. Redoing. And take two. Hello, everyone, and welcome. I'm Jacob Jennings, the founder of the Sherlock Holmes Foundation. This is going to happen. Okay, it's being recorded again. We're going to try this. Okay. Hello. Ow, that hurts. Oh, God. Okay. Okay, for real. Here we are. Why this doesn't happen? Why is this happening? Okay.
Because it's me.
Hi, eyebrows. Okay. Oh, that was a weird face. How did you do that? Okay, we're back. Hello, everyone. I'm Jacob Jennings, the founder of the Sherlock Holmes Foundation, a 501c3 with a mission to eradicate homelessness for all vulnerable populations. And shut the mother front door. Okay, take 10. I'm having a moment. I don't have a problem with this usually. It's just I swear this doesn't happen usually. This never happens to me. So back. Okay.